I am not my breath. I am not even my body. I move beyond my mind. I move beyond thinking. I move beyond even a single thought. And I invite Samuel and my guides to speak through me. Welcome back. We wait patiently in the ethers, so to speak, for this group to assemble. For this time to be with you. Got this one's attention last night we did. Commenting, affirming, as he spoke with his wife. This connection that you experience, that you see manifested before you in this very moment, our point of pestering him so much, so to speak, last night. Opening his eyes to how often we were responding. Our purpose was to remind him this connection is like a bridge. He walks in the woods. Takes joy in the creative expression he can share with this camera he has. We mentioned those photos for For did not he share some photos of some bridges? Have not you all walked on a suspension bridge? Or seen others walk on them and see the movement of the bridge? A suitable connection, we say, to get to the other side. But in your humanness, there is some resistance, concern with how much it sways, how much it moves as you walk. That's why we were with him last night, reminding him, reminding each one of you here, and listening, dear ones. This bridge connection you have with the other side. You, individually, just as this one, is the architect of his own bridge. Yes, we willingly work with you. But these practices you put in place, the discipline you display in your meditation practice, strengthens your bridge, dear ones. Takes the wobble out, so to speak, as you walk with us. Open yourself to us, for we are always around you. Of that he became so very aware last night. Peppering him we were with these visions of how we are working with him. We are supporting him. We are nudging him. To stay after it. To continue building a stronger and stronger connection. Is that not just what we did for him last night? Rang him up. Brought into his awareness over and over again how often we are there. Sometimes these barriers you have erected in your humanness are all but invisible to you. You think you are open. You think you have released. And yet, as we told him last night, there is more work to do. A flood of childhood memories flowed from him last night. And we reminded him all along that we were there with him every moment. Sharing in the joy of his being. Each one of you, each and every person you meet is so very dearly loved, surrounded by love. Bathed in it, flowing in and through you. Donna's here. Even I, in my gruff nature, so to speak, this voice that comes, do hold you in the highest, each and every one of you, in the highest esteem, dear ones. For you chose to come here. You chose these experiences on both ends of the spectrum. To grow. To expand. And yes, to share. Those guides, those angels around you feel you. Share it with you. are always with you. Nurturing you. Preparing you for the next step. Loving you. Beyond measure. For we have seen your courage in stepping back into human form yet again. We so honor you. We so wish for you to make the choices to strengthen this bridge, this connection. Opening you to an even deeper expression of the love that you are. The love that surrounds you. The love that fills you up to overflowing. This essence you chose to come here to nurture it, to grow it. And just to experience it in ways that you can only experience with this human form. With these 5 senses. With this thing you come in with called the ego. use. Work with this thing you call the ego. Does not it highlight in certain instances the choices that lie before you? As long as you don't allow it to consume you or overrun you or get carried away with this humanness. That as we spoke last time, that you can use your breath as a key. Strengthen the bridge. To allow you to become aware that you choose how strong your bridge is. You choose whether to throw up the barrier, so to speak, or reach out in love to meet us and greet us. As we have stated, we are always with you, always near you, dear ones. And yes, we are not always heard, but we understand that is part of this humanness you came to experience. To stretch these things you call your mind, your mental faculties, to probe the edges of this thing you call reality that has no edges, dear one. We spoke of this, the limitless nature of your being, the limitless nature of your love. We speak today of the limitless nature of this bridge you can build with us. Play with it. just as this one who's sitting before you, whom we are speaking through, did last night. Drawn to explore this term he came across, binaural beats. Reading article after article in the middle of the night while he's pumping binaural beats music through his earphones. When suddenly he gets the urge to write and write and write and write. Strengthening the bridge, opening himself to new avenues to pursue. New techniques to try, new meditations. New ways of asking us to recognizing when we placed a thought in his consciousness. To, as he proofread when 3 words finally just showed up and he knew exactly where they meant to go. You use this term interactive. We suggest you play with that one too. Become interactive with us. See how many different ways you can find to communicate. For there are as many as you can think of, dear ones. We suggest to you that we have been prompting him when he is walking in the woods, slipping him these eye catchers, as he calls them, when he sees something beautiful in nature, catches his eye, stops and takes a picture. Nudges from spirit. Seeing through his eyes we are. Again, we speak of the many ways. Are there any questions, dear ones?
Well, what came up for me, Samuel, when you were talking, you were saying about our barriers. Is our main barrier being our egoic self, because we are in the realm of duality?
Yes, this duality. Your ego enjoys it so very much.
Our ego enjoys the duality so much?
Yes. It likes the drama. It likes the slip-ups.
What do you mean by slip-ups?
Those instances when you choose other than love. When you choose to curse the man who cut you off in traffic rather than just send him love. That's part of this human experience you came to enrich yourself with. And by enriching yourself, you enrich all others. Seen and unseen, dear ones. Again, we speak of this connection you have, this energy you have that goes beyond this physical form, that intermixes with those around you.
So we are all, each and every one, the energy tapestry of all that is.
Yes. Intricately woven pattern of love and light that is nowhere not present, nowhere not connected. One of the things your ego loves in this duality is trying to make you believe the connection is not there. That you are indeed separate just because you walk around in this physical form. Just because your typical eyesight does not see the energy that radiates from you and washes over everyone you walk by. Whether you even give them a look, they experience your energy as you move by, as you experience theirs.
So we're all cells in the body of all that is. Each one important.
Ever so important.
I understand you saying, are you trying to tell us we all need to open up more to all of you, Samuel, and is that what you were saying?
Your own guides, your own intuition. create your own bridges to this thing you call the other side, this thing you call your intuition. It is a tool, is it not, in your growth? In expanding how you even view this humanness. We spoke of the tapestry, we spoke of the interconnected love and light that you all are. But on this plane, everything looks like they are separate. The trees are separate from you. Your friend is in a separate vessel than you are. Appearance is all that is, dear ones.
Am I more connected, say, if I'm outside and have no thought, or if I'm inside meditating, peaceful but yet aware, or if I blank out and have no awareness when I'm inside? Is one of those a stronger connection than the other?
For you, dear one, we say your connection outside is stronger. Playing in the dirt, tending to your garden.
And that's when I have no thought.
You're just being.
Yes. But that is different than, say, when I listened to that music and did that, what is it, dimensional shift that one time? That time?
Yes.
That's different.
But they're all enriching, right? They're all enriching.
They're all
you.
experiences. They're all growth opportunities. None of those you mentioned should be judged.
Just
Another
enjoy it.
thing the ego loves to do is judge. Put these tags of good and bad on everything in front of you.
Less
When
and
there
more.
is no. It is just being like you were when you were outside. Everything just is.
And you said that every way that we enrich our own lives enriches the lives of
Enriches the
everybody.
whole.
Yeah.
For you are all part of the whole. The whole is within you and without you. All around you. Is you, as you.
Is it?
The ego loves to try to destroy this. To build this separateness, to build these barriers, to build these walls, to build these duality, these distinctions. Well, if I meditate and I check out, is it worse than if I meditate and I feel completely aware? Loves to play games with you, lead you down this path. But again, it is a growth experience, is it not?
Well, I've gotten to the point, Samuel, where I don't feel guilty not doing. That's a new one. I just
Not
really
doing what?
Not doing nothing.
Not doing.
Oh.
I mean, to I guess the egoic self, which I don't even hardly, I would judge myself. Well, why don't you do this, do that, or whatever? And I say, because I am, and I'm happy right here and now. And it doesn't become important. Nothing becomes more important than just
this one we speak through. Sat down, loaded the audio from the last session we had, popped it up on the screen, and was ready to jump into his quote-unquote editing. We got his attention, not only visually but audibly. And in those silent periods, he noticed oftentimes they are so very flat. They were not. He amplified the recording 240%, turned his speakers up to 95% with the headphones on, and listened, trying to figure out what was going on. Muffled noises, sporadic, completely undecipherable to his human ears, but we had his attention and told him there was much energy being transmitted during those quiet times in the channel and not to take them out. Leave it alone. Let it stand as it was delivered. For those listening get the same benefit as those sitting here. What dawned on him as he experienced this was it was his ego stepping in there. Fearful. Putting that grain of fear in his mind. That people listening would question why there are such long gaps with no words. And they would lose interest in listening. And here he is physically cutting out energy of the messages that we are transmitting, because we transmit not only through his voice, just as we have been speaking. There is energy flowing this very moment, even in those silent periods. Whether you can hear it, whether you have any clue of what is going on. Just as if when you check out in a meditation, you're like, where did I go and how did I get back here? The dear one, Mary Jo, sent him another meditation. Listened to it the other day. 61 minutes long. Remembers being very conscious, very aware in the beginning, the first 15 minutes or so. The dear one, Wink, came out, jumped on his lap, startled him. He saw the clock. And then the meditation. And all this was music and a chant. Ended. As if it was mere seconds after Wink had jumped on his lap. And when he looked at the clock and down at his iPad, it had said that it ended at 61 minutes. Checked out.
So was that another, say, dimensional shift?
Dimensional shift.
Is
Popped
it-
back in, had no recollection of where he'd been. Just knew that there was what in your humanness you would call a sizable chunk of time that had passed. 45 minutes or so. Does not matter how long you jump over and come back. Does not matter if you even do it. Again, it is just another growing experience, a learning experience.
And again, is that from the frequency in those biennial beats, or binaural, however you say it?
Binaural.
Yeah, is that part of it?
They're all different. One he was listening to last night, he felt like he started to awaken his clairvoyant eye, so to speak. Images started flashing. Different meditation, different frequency, different results. And we tell you, you are all unique.
Is it possible, Samuel, with a guide or an angel, whatever it is that we have with us, that they would have a desire for things like a special food, and all of a sudden it's like, even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, they would like to taste the peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And I'm not saying that to be funny.
Ask the dear one called Laura how much she is enjoying watermelon this summer.
I'm craving it. To have it almost every day. Why is that? Are you
Eating
saying
it for meals we even are.
But why is mine at 3 o'clock in the morning? And I'm fine. I get up and having milk, peanut butter, and jelly. Boom, I'm back to sleep. I mean, it's kind of fun after a while. It's kind of, okay, it's 3 o'clock. Somebody's hungry.
Cannot you have fun with this?
Yes, I've got.
Have not we told you to enjoy the process? To experiment and play with it. For sometimes we are experimenting and playing with you, dear one. What kind of reaction can we get today? What if we just pepper him with answers as he's rolling through these childhood experiences to his wife, and he just starts sitting there having a conversation with us, and all of a sudden going, oh wow, this is different. I'm having 2 conversations at once, one with my wife and one with my guide. How odd is this? Opened his eyes a bit, we did last night.
Did you know what was going on, Laura?
Well, he would say, oh no, that was Samuel.
And I just give her this quizzical look. Like, what is this? Where? What's going on? Not... So... similar.
And it's weird.
Oh, this is
It's
so-
not enough Peanut butter.
The vision we throw in his head is him sitting there with Minister Stephen Upton doing the same thing in his class in March.
Oh, no.
Having a conversation with Spirit right in the midst of discussing and instructing the group. And we would just sit there and just go, whoa, this is pretty crazy. Enjoy.
Well, we're curious too. The last 2 times you've been ending our sessions, instead of having, say, Laura remind you, is there a reason for that?
Other than we feel like it's time we moseyed on away. Been here, talked as long as we feel like it. Off.
Oh.
Reminding you, dear ones, that this is enjoyable, this is a wonderful experience, but why did you come here? Why did you come to this planet, this plane, to experience this humanness? To not be totally, quote unquote, in spirit all the time you are here. To experience this meat suit, these faculties, this hearing, this eyesight, this feeling, the air, the sun, the flowers.
Well, this is a great place to live. It's a great place to live. It's paradise. I mean, we have all those senses. I mean, and if we can inhale them and use them and are aware of them, it's like, oh, wow. You know. And there wasn't...
That's why we tell you to be like the child. The curiosity and the wonder of the child. Everything is fascinating. Mm-hmm. Even the worm crawling on the driveway. Mm-hmm. Fascination abounds.
Even the vein and the leaf of a plant.
Samuel, what is it that I guess makes people mad? Like if we're, sometimes it seems like if I'm too happy, or I'm happy, period, or fascinated or curious, it seems like it's too much for people, certain people.
The meat suit. These human emotions you carry. Jealousy. It's the first one that pops into the head. Why is she happy all the time? Why does she giggle and laugh all the time? Why am I not like that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about you, it's about them.
Yeah, it's about them.
They're looking at their being and saying, whoa, how come I don't feel that way?
Because sometimes when that happens with somebody, you know, I try and let it go, but I notice that my happiness seems to irritate them. It just continues.
You need a new group of friends.
Well, that's sometimes what winds
Hang
up
out
happening.
here we are. Here we are.
Yeah, no, but so that's something. It just happened to me lately, and that's something that I did. I just let these people go. But
No different than your discussion last time, dear one, when you talked about how the negative energy showed up on that one link you were following.
Yeah.
Facebook.
You know, I mean, it's
Yeah,
the
we're
same.
gonna run into
It's the
it.
same thing. It can go either way. It can go high. It can go low. You can be drawn in, or you can choose, like you did, to say, "Hey,
I guess sometimes
I don't want to
feel
be
like
drawn
I
in.
should.
I want to wake up in the middle of the night and eat a peanut butter sandwich and just say,
Oh, I
hey,
don't
this
mind
is
it
cool.
anymore. I mean, I'm fine with it.
I'm cool with this.
I just
I
No,
can
he
roll with
said I
this.
want to.
Hmm?
He said I want to.
I guess sometimes I wonder if I'm
I
supposed to
don't
try
care
and,
anymore.
but I
It's
really
just fun.
can't.
No,
help
you
these
do not have
people.
to get in this mode where you think you have to fix everything, dear ones. This is your purpose, working on this. You. This humanness, this parenting aspect everyone has, very strong with this one we speak through. Especially with his youngest son, he felt like he had to fix everything. Everything was falling apart. He had to fix it. The only way it ever got fixed is when he let go and let God and let his son live his own life. Yes, be there, nurture him, love him, support him any way you can, but you cannot try to give him all the answers, to make sure he does not hurt himself, to make sure his choices are the best for him. You do not know what is best for him. He is on his own journey. Each one of you is on your own journey.
And it's a fine journey.
Yeah. My mother used to tell my father, who, like Keith with his son, he wanted to spare me things. And my mother would say, Kurt, you can't put an old head on young shoulders. She's going to have to make her own decisions about things, and she's going to have to make her
Much
mistakes.
wisdom in that.
I know. And even with
How often how do we say? Open the book, learn, quote unquote, how to do it, or learn experientially. No. This knowing that comes over you when you experience something.
it's absorbed by the cells of our body.
It's anchored in you that way.
Yeah, anchored. And becomes part of our vibratory field. That.
And not something your parent just said, don't do that. You might get hurt. And bam, when when hammer hits your thumb, oh boy, do you understand what he meant.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful the way you hold that nail.
But it's an experience you won't forget.
Anchored
Anchored. Yeah.
experientially,
Mhm.
with feeling.
Is that why, like, when you're outdoors and you're in nature or taking a walk or even just in grass or a meadow or something, that it's almost a caress of being in an environment like that with the limitless, or what seems limitless sky and everything. It's absolutely a euphoric.
Again, we speak of what has been discussed. Those moments when you allow the stillness to come over you. The awareness to arise in you. this thing we discuss, this tapestry, the love and light that flows in and through and interconnects you with everything, and nowhere is not.
It's like you can even
How can you
absorb
not
it.
feel caressed by that?
It feels like being absorbed by the color green. I mean, absorbing it.
Is that not what? This experience, this oneness.
I have another animal question. It seems to me that recently my dog, Ruby, is getting more, when I meditate, she seems to go out. She goes deeper, it seems, and she never used to. Do they experience, what do they experience when I see her like that? Like, is it similar?
She's in your energy field. Do you not realize that you can assist her in her meditation just by being in your meditation? Just as you can have a smile wash across your face from the energy when she wags her tail, looks at you that way.
So the deeper I am, the deeper she is. We're kind of floating together in a way?
Yes.
Yeah, you're intertwined.
Well, she never used to. She used to always be like a bundle of nerves.
What have we discussed? Growth. Cannot she grow also?
Well, I guess that's what I'm asking. Because she seems so much more loving and I'm sure part of it is her responding to me growing with her too. But, interesting.
Feeling the same threads at the tapestry, sometimes at the same time. This love and light that permeates everything.
Does Wink ever meditate with you guys? Yes?
Right on my lap.
The dear one that crossed, Sparky used to just love and just lay down in the energy.
That's the way Little Dog was, but it's interesting to see Ruby now enjoying it.
Oftentimes when we do Qigong, she will just lay on the bed, perfectly content to be in that energy. She feels the shift as we move in to Qigong.
Yeah, Sparky would sometimes come and sit lay down right in front of our feet or in between our feet if we were big like that.
Seeking out the energy he loves.
Yeah. He was digging it.
And all these
Enjoying being bathed in it, so to speak. As we told you, this meat suit is illusion. Your energy radiates out of it.
So
And if you choose to drag yourself into a higher state, so to speak, Ruby feels that. Wink feels that.
Our neighborhood feels that, right? Aren't we sending out, radiating an energy from this house to all our neighbors?
Absolutely, dear one.
Yeah.
That's why your birds are so happy.
And squirrels.
And squirrels. Yeah. Little precious squirrel.
Little Mr. Piebald squirrel.
Yeah.
What was that?
The piebald squirrel.
That's
The one
The
that's
gray and
white.
white.
Yeah, the one that's.
White spots. He figured out the word for it.
Mm-hmm.
As always, dear ones, we thank you for joining us yet again. sharing your love with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
We appreciate you. We remind you how very loved you are. And we bid you a love-wrapped adieu.
That sounds good enough to eat.
There goes that eating again. Where's the
That's
watermelon?
right.
And the peanut butter.
Yeah, we're little burritos.